Imagine this. I'm 71 years old, a retired screenwriter living in a Hollywood Hills mansion, surrounded by treasures from the golden age of cinema, signed Casablanca posters, props from The Godfather, a gown Marilyn Monroe wore. My family, my nephew, his glamorous actress wife, their dreamer son, are my everything. I gave them my heart, my money, my life. But one sunny afternoon, a whispered warning from a friend rips my world apart. My own blood is plotting to call me crazy, lock me in a nursing home, and sell my $4 million collection for their own greed. I'm Lillian Brooks, and they thought I was a senile old woman they could outsmart. They didn't know I had a $5 million secret that would burn their scheme to ashes. This is my story, a tale of betrayal, revenge, and a comeback bigger than any blockbuster I ever wrote. Grab a coffee, settle in, because this Hollywood drama is about to unfold. Hey there, everyone. I'm Lillian Brooks, a 71-year-old Hollywood veteran who's written scripts for Spielberg, laughed with Coppola, and lived through the golden age of movies. Welcome to my channel, where I share the raw, unfiltered truth about life, love, lies, and the kind of betrayal that cuts deeper than any knife. This isn't just a story, it's my life. It's why my nephew Ethan and his wife Vanessa are in prison right now. It's why my face was splashed across TMZ, with 15 million people watching me fight for justice. It's why I learned that family isn't always who shares your blood, it's who stands by you when the world turns dark. You're about to hear every detail. The secret recordings, the stolen money, the moment I turned the tables on the people I loved most. This is the Hollywood inheritance plot, and it's proof that no one, not even your own family, can break you if you fight back with everything you've got. So get comfortable, because this story is going to take you deep into the heart of Hollywood, where the real drama happens off-screen. I was born in 1954 in a tiny stucco bungalow in Los Angeles, back when Hollywood was a dream factory. My dad was a grip on Gone with the Wind, hauling lights for Vivian Leigh under the hot studio sun. My mom stitched costumes for MGM, her fingers pricked raw for Judy Garland's gowns. I grew up on their stories, sneaking onto studio lots, watching Clark Gable rehearse, dreaming of my name in lights. By 25, I was writing screenplays for Paramount. My words were spoken by Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. I rewrote scenes for Jaws in a single night, argued with studio execs over Chinatown, drank late-night whiskey with Francis Ford Coppola on the set of The Godfather. My scripts grossed millions, but I didn't care about the money. I cared about the stories, the way they made people laugh, cry, believe in magic. Over 45 years, I built something else, a collection of Hollywood history. Picture my Spanish-style mansion in the Hollywood Hills, every room a time capsule. A Casablanca poster, signed by Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, hanging above my fireplace, its edges yellowed but the ink still bold. A prop revolver from Dirty Harry, heavy in my hands, still smelling faintly of gunpowder. The desk lamp from The Godfather, the one Michael Corleone smashed in a fit of rage, now sitting on my study desk. A first draft Chinatown script. Jack Nicholson scrawled notes in the margins, "More edge here." A silk gown Marilyn Monroe wore to the 1953 Golden Globes, shimmering in my guest room closet, delicate as a memory. A A signed photo of me with Steven Spielberg laughing on the E.T. set, framed in my dining room. In 2024, Sotheby's valued it at $4.2 million. But to me, these were my battles. Late nights rewriting pages, fights with studio bosses, friendships with legends. Each piece was a story of a woman who fought for her place in a man's world. By 2025, I was 71, widowed, living alone in my mansion. My husband, George, died in 2010. Cancer took him too soon. We never had kids, so my family became my nephew, Ethan Caldwell, his wife, Vanessa Blake, and their son, Noah. Ethan was 40, a charming producer with big dreams and bigger flops. I paid for his USC film degree, gave him $300,000 for an indie film that never saw a theater. I believed in him, saw my younger self in his ambition. Vanessa, 35, was a B-list actress, Lifetime movies, soap opera cameos, always one audition away from the big break. I funded her headshots, her acting coach, even her $15,000 cosmetic surgery. She called me auntie, kissed my cheek at every holiday. Noah, their 19-year-old son, was my heart. A UCLA film student, he had my passion for storytelling. I paid for 3 of his short films, watched them with tears in my eyes, proud of his raw talent. We were close. Sunday dinners at my place, with Ethan carving the roast, Vanessa pouring wine, Noah telling me about his latest project. Christmas lights in my backyard, Noah's birthday parties with homemade cakes. I thought they loved me. I thought they were my legacy. But in January 2025, cracks started showing. Ethan and Vanessa visited too often, their smiles too tight, their questions too pointed. Aunt Lillian, Ethan would say, sitting at my dining table, "You forgot our lunch last week. You feeling okay?" "This house is so big," Vanessa added, her voice dripping with concern, her eyes flicking to the Casablanca poster. "Don't you get lonely? Have you thought about assisted living, somewhere safe with people your age?" Noah was different. He'd sit with me for hours, asking about my old scripts, my fights with studio execs. "Aunt Lillian, tell me about the time you rewrote Jaws in one night." His eyes sparkled and I'd laugh, pulling out old notebooks, showing him my scribbled revisions. I brushed off the unease. Ethan's latest project had tanked, a sci-fi thriller that lost $2 million. Vanessa hadn't booked a role in months, her auditions drying up. They were stressed, I told myself, but deep down a voice whispered, "Something's wrong. They're watching you too closely." April 15th, 2025, a sunny Tuesday, I met my agent, Maggie Klein, at Earth Cafe in West Hollywood. Maggie's 68, been with me since my first script sale in 1983. She's more than an agent. She's my confidant, my sister in arms. We'd seen it all. Studio betrayals, Oscar snubs, the rise and fall of stars. We ordered lattes, laughed about the time we snuck into a Star Wars screening in '77, hiding in the projection booth. Then, Maggie's face changed. She leaned in, voice barely a whisper, eyes scanning the cafe like a spy in a noir film. "Lillian," she said, her hand trembling slightly, "I heard something last night. You need to be careful." My heart skipped a beat. "Heard what, Maggie?" At a producer party in the hills, Ethan and Vanessa were there, drunk, cornering some sleazy psychiatrist named Dr. Alan Kessler. They asked how easy it is to get a dementia diagnosis for a, quote, relative. "Lillian," they said your name. The cafe spun. My latte trembled in my hand, splashing onto the table. My name? I whispered, barely audible. Maggie nodded, her face pale. She slid a napkin across the table, her handwriting shaky but clear. Check your accounts. Protect your assets. Don't trust them. They were laughing, she said, her voice tight with anger. Vanessa said your collection could set them up for life once you're out of the picture. Ethan mentioned Sotheby's, said they'd already gotten a $4.2 million quote. Kessler nodded, said it's easy to certify dementia if you've got the cash. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Ethan, my sister's son, the boy I raised after she died in a car crash when he was 12. I paid for his braces, his prom tux, his wedding to Vanessa. I'd held Noah the day he was born, changed his diapers, cheered at his school plays. Vanessa, with her crocodile tears, her auntie hugs at every holiday, her promises to make it big for me. They were planning to lock me away? To call me crazy? To sell my life's work? Lillian, Maggie said, gripping my hand so hard it hurt, go home. Check your bank accounts, change every password, get a lawyer. Do it now. I drove home in a fog, the Hollywood sign mocking me from the hills. My mansion felt cold, unfamiliar, the Casablanca poster staring down like a warning. That night, 2:17 a.m., I opened my laptop. I hadn't checked my accounts in months. Ethan helped manage them, said it was too complicated for me at my age. The numbers hit me like a tidal wave. $7,800 to Neiman Marcus for evening gowns. I wear cardigans and slacks. $15,000 to a travel agency for a Maldives trip. I hadn't left LA in years. $28,000 to V. Blake Productions, Vanessa's fake company that never produced a thing. $43,200 in miscellaneous withdrawals over 6 months funneled to Ethan's accounts. $22,500 for home repairs on a condo I don't own. Their condo, I realized. Total stolen, $194,700. My savings, my life's work. I sat there, staring at the screen, tears burning my cheeks. My hands shook, not from age, but from rage. Ethan and Vanessa thought they could bleed me dry, call me senile, and walk away millionaires. They thought I was a frail old woman who'd never notice. But they didn't know my secret. And that secret was about to change the game. In 2010, after George died, I poured my grief into a script, Shadows of Stardom. It was my story, a young woman fighting sexism in 1970s Hollywood, clawing her way to the top through studio politics and backstabbing execs. It was raw, honest, my best work. Too personal to sell, I locked it in a fireproof safe in my study. In 2024, something shifted. I was 70, feeling the weight of time. I wanted one last legacy. So, under a pseudonym, L.B. Sterling, I sent Shadows of Stardom to Warner Bros. Through a lawyer friend anonymously. 3 weeks later, they called. "This is gold," the exec said. "We're optioning it for $3 million up front, $2 million more if it goes into production." The money was wired to a Cayman Islands account, untouchable by Ethan or Vanessa. They thought my wealth was the $4.2 million memorabilia collection, the Casablanca poster, the Godfather lamp, Marilyn's gown. They had no clue about my $5 million script deal. At dawn, April 16, I made 3 calls. Carlos Rivera, a former LAPD detective turned private investigator who'd busted Hollywood scams for A-listers like DiCaprio and Jolie. Carlos, my nephew and wife are trying to frame me as senile to steal my collection. I need proof. Emails, texts, recordings, everything. Rachel Cohen, a celebrity lawyer who'd taken down greedy heirs for Brangelina and the Kardashians. Rachel, I need my assets locked down and a plan to bury these traitors in court. Noah, come to my house, alone. Don't tell your parents. 10 a.m. sharp. Carlos arrived at 9 a.m. with a black duffel bag. 6 hidden microphones, he said, showing me tiny black discs, small as pinheads. Broadcast quality. They'll blend into your furniture. Dining room chairs, living room lamps, even the guest bathroom mirror. We'll catch every word. He spent an hour installing them, testing the feeds on his laptop. That night, I invited Ethan and Vanessa for dinner. I played the frail old lady to perfection, hands trembling as I poured wine, voice quivering as I spoke. Ethan, Vanessa, I said, setting down my glass. I've been thinking. Maybe you're right. This house is too big for me. Maybe a retirement home would be nice. Vanessa's eyes lit up like a slot machine hitting jackpot. Oh, Auntie! Shady Oaks has bingo, crafts, nurses 24/7. You'd love it. Ethan nodded, his grin barely contained. We'll find the perfect place, Aunt Lillian. Don't worry about a thing. After dinner, I went to bed early, claiming a headache. I locked myself in my study, opened Carlos's app, and listened to the live feed. She's finally breaking. I wired $25,000 to Dr. Kessler. He'll sign the dementia papers by Friday. Sotheby's confirmed $4.2 million for the collection. We'll list the house, too. $2 million easy. Noah's tuition is covered, and we get that Malibu condo. She'll be drooling in Shady Oaks by next month. No one will suspect the thing. I sat there, heart pounding, tears streaming down my face. But anger burned brighter than the pain. They thought they'd won. They thought I was helpless. They were so wrong. Next morning, Noah arrived, pale and nervous, his UCLA hoodie wrinkled like he'd slept in it. I sat him down at my kitchen table, showed him the bank statements, played 30 seconds of the recording. Aunt Lillian, he gasped, collapsing into a chair. They told me you were forgetting things, that you needed help. I swear I didn't know they were stealing. His tears looked real. His shock felt genuine. But I'd been burned before. Noah, I said, staring into his eyes, you're my blood, their son, but blood means nothing without loyalty. Help me stop them, or walk away now. Choose. He wiped his eyes, jaw set like steel. I'm with you, Aunt Lillian. Let's take them down. I believed him. Noah was my last hope for family, and I needed him. Day 3, April 18th. Carlos delivered a bombshell. 52 emails between Vanessa and Dr. Alan Kessler, detailing a $25,000 bribe for a fake dementia diagnosis, complete with timestamps and bank transfers. Texts from Ethan to a black market dealer named Vince, offering my Godfather lamp for $150,000 and my Chinatown script for $200,000. Bank records showing they'd siphoned $194,700 from my accounts over 6 months, $7,800 here, $15,000 there, all disguised as household expenses or consulting fees. Rachel moved like lightning. Emergency restraining order? Granted. Their access to my accounts? Frozen. Their credit cards? Canceled mid-purchase at a Rodeo Drive boutique, leaving Vanessa red-faced in front of a cashier. cease and desist letter to Sotheby's, stopping any sale of my collection. Criminal complaint filed with the LA County DA. Elder abuse, fraud, attempted theft, conspiracy. But I didn't want just a courtroom victory. I wanted the world to see their true faces. I wanted them humiliated, exposed, their names synonymous with greed. I called TMZ. I'm Lillian Brooks, former screenwriter. My nephew and his wife are bribing a doctor to lock me in a nursing home and steal my $4 million collection. I have recordings, emails, bank statements. The editor nearly choked. Holy shit, Lillian, send the audio. We're running this tonight. Day 5, April 20. I called Ethan. Sweetheart, I'm ready. I'll sign up for Shady Oaks. Can you bring the paperwork tonight? He was ecstatic, voice dripping with fake concern. Aunt Lillian, you're doing the right thing. We'll be there at 8. 8:47 p.m. They arrived with a stack of documents, fake power of attorney forms pre-filled with my name. Carlos had given me a decoy pen with invisible ink, a prop worthy of a Hitchcock film. The microphones caught every word. Sign here, Aunt Lillian. This lets us handle your finances while you're transitioning. Anything from my family? I signed with the decoy pen, leaving no mark. Once she's in, we wire the $4.2 million to our offshore account. The house sells next, $2 million minimum. Noah's too busy with school to notice. We'll be sipping margaritas in Malibu by summer. I smiled sweetly, heart racing. Got you, you snakes. Day 7, April 22, 6 p.m. TMZ dropped the story. Hollywood grandma exposes family's $4 million theft plot. Shocking audio. The story exploded. 12 million views in 6 hours. Twitter went wild. Hashtag Justice for Lillian trended worldwide. Clips of the audio played on CNN, Fox, even BBC. Strangers messaged me, "You're a hero, Lillian. Don't let them win." Ethan called at 9:03 p.m. hysterical. "Aunt Lillian, what the hell is this? TMZ, you're ruining our lives." "Ruining your lives?" I said, voice ice cold. "Is it ruining you to play recordings of you bribing Dr. Kessler for a fake dementia diagnosis? Or showing bank statements proving you stole $194,700 from my accounts?" "You're insane," he screamed. "We were helping you." Helping me? I laughed, bitter as bile. By planning to lock me in Shady Oaks? By selling my Casablanca poster behind my back? Save it, Ethan. The DA's got everything. I hung up. The TMZ interview aired at 10 p.m. Me in my living room playing the recordings, showing the bank statements, my voice steady but my eyes burning with tears. 15 million views by morning. Week 2, April 29. Carlos struck gold again. Dr. Kessler was arrested trying to board a flight to Mexico with a fake passport. He turned state's evidence, wore a wire to save his own skin. Recording from a Starbucks bathroom in Santa Monica, April 28th. Just sign the damn dementia papers, Alan. $25,000 is in your account tonight. Cops are outside, Vanessa. You're done. She was handcuffed on the spot, screaming as LAPD dragged her away. TMZ cameras caught it all. Vanessa's mascara-streaked face, her designer heels slipping on the pavement. The clip hit 8 million views in hours. Ethan tried one last desperate play. April 30, he showed up at my house with Noah, news vans trailing like vultures. Aunt Lillian's confused, he told CNN cameras on my front lawn, his voice shaking but practiced. She's been forgetting things for years. We're just trying to protect her. Noah shoved him. Hard, live on air. Stop lying, Dad. You're stealing from her. You bribed a doctor. You're a fraud. The clip went viral. 20 million views in 24 hours. Hashtag Noah the hero trended alongside hashtag Justice for Lillian. Noah stood beside me on my porch, his arm around my shoulders as the cameras rolled. Preliminary hearing, May 10th, 2025. I walked into the Los Angeles County Courthouse in my vintage Chanel suit, the Casablanca poster under my arm like a shield. The courtroom was packed. Reporters from Variety, bloggers from Perez Hilton, even old Hollywood friends like a retired costume designer who'd worked with me on E.T., and a grip from Jaws who hugged me in the hallway. Your Honor, I said, voice steady, I wrote movies that shaped a generation. I built a legacy worth millions, and these two, I pointed at Ethan and Vanessa, pale and sweating at the defense table, thought they could lock me away and steal it all. I played the dinner recording. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Jurors covered their mouths. Vanessa sobbed, mascara streaking her face. Ethan stared at the floor, hands shaking in his cuffs. Noah testified next, his voice cracking but firm. My parents planned to frame Aunt Lillian. They bribed Dr. Kessler for a fake dementia diagnosis. They stole $194,700 from her accounts. They tried to sell her Godfather lamp, her Chinatown script. I heard it all, every word. The defense attorney tried to paint me as a vengeful rich lady. Mrs. Brooks, you hid $5 million from your family. Isn't that deceptive? Deceptive? I shot back, leaning forward, my voice sharp as a blade. I hid it to protect it from thieves like them. They planned to lock me in a nursing home, forge my signature, and sell my life's work. Thank God I was smarter than they thought. The courtroom erupted in murmurs. A juror nodded at me, her eyes shining with respect. Another juror, an older man, wiped a tear. Ethan, 14 years in California State Prison for elder abuse, fraud, conspiracy, and attempted theft. Vanessa, 12 years for the same, plus forgery and wire fraud. I recovered every stolen penny, $194,700, plus $9 million in punitive damages. My accounts were safe, my collection untouched. The next day, Warner Bros. Called. Shadows of Stardom is greenlit. Martin Scorsese's directing. $2 million bonus wired to your Cayman account. I cried not from sadness, but from pride. My story, my life would live on the big screen. Noah moved in with me. He graduated UCLA with honors, his latest short film winning a student Oscar. We're producing a documentary about elder abuse, set to premiere at Sundance 2027. Noah's my partner now, my real family. We spend evenings in my study, editing scripts, laughing over old Hollywood stories. My collection? I donated it to the Academy Museum. The Lillian Brooks Legacy Wing opens in 2026, free to the public. Kids will see Marilyn's gown, touch the Godfather lamp, read Jack's Chinatown notes. My legacy lives on, not for greed, but for love of the craft. I started a foundation too, Justice for Elders. We help seniors fight abuse, fraud, and betrayal. Every week, I get letters from grandmothers, grandfathers, people who saw my TMZ story and found the courage to fight back. Lillian, you saved my life, one wrote. I checked my accounts because of you. They called me senile. They called me weak. They called me a mark. But I called their bluff. I'm 72 now. I'm writing again. New scripts, new stories, a memoir about my Hollywood years. I'm traveling. Paris last month, Tokyo next, maybe Rome in the spring. I mentor young filmmakers like Noah, passing on the torch I carried for 45 years. Every night, I raise a glass to three things: Maggie Klein's napkin warning that saved my life, my $5 million secret script that gave me power, the fire in my soul that refused to let them win. To every grandmother, every elder, every person betrayed by those you love, you are not alone. You are not weak. Your story isn't over. Write the ending you deserve. Like, subscribe, share this video. It might save someone's life. Tell your grandmother, your neighbor, your friend. Betrayal doesn't get the last word. Courage does.